He's in the same house. He sits at the same dinner table. He sleeps in the same bed, but somehow you've never felt more alone in your marriage. And the scariest part? You can't even point to one big fight that caused it. He just drifted, and you're sitting here wondering, did I lose him without even knowing it was happening? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why husbands emotionally check out, what's really going on beneath the surface, and what you can do about it starting today. If this is your life right now, I want you to know something first. You are not imagining it, and you are not alone. Emotional withdrawal in marriage is one of the most painful experiences a woman can go through because there's no big dramatic moment to point to. There's no affair, no screaming match, no obvious breaking point. There's just silence, distance. A husband who answers in one-word sentences and seems more interested in his phone than in you. Research shows that men are actually more likely than women to emotionally shut down during relationship stress, a pattern therapists call stonewalling. And it affects nearly 85% of couples in long-term distress at some point. Here's what's important to understand. His emotional withdrawal is rarely about not loving you. It's almost always about something he doesn't know how to say. And that distinction, it changes everything. So let's break down exactly what's happening and what it means for your marriage. Point 1, he stopped feeling safe enough to be vulnerable. Most people assume men pull away because they've stopped caring. But here's what most people don't realize. Men pull away when they no longer feel emotionally safe. Not physically safe. Emotionally safe. When a man feels like his feelings will be dismissed, mocked, or met with criticism, he stops sharing them. It's not weakness, and it's self-protection. And it usually builds slowly, over months or even years of feeling like he couldn't get it right no matter what he did. I've seen couples where the wife genuinely had no idea her husband felt criticized. She thought she was giving feedback. He experienced it as constant failure. So he stopped trying. He went quiet. And she felt abandoned. Here's your actionable tip for today. The next time your husband shares something, but even something small, resist the urge to correct, fix, or redirect. Just say, I hear you. Tell me more. That's it. 2 sentences. It signals safety. And safety is what gets him talking again. Point 2, he's running on empty and doesn't know how to ask for help. Now this next one surprises a lot of people. Men are socialized and from childhood to be providers, to be strong, to keep going no matter how exhausted they are. And most men have never been taught to recognize burnout in themselves, let alone ask for support. So what does that look like in a marriage? He comes home depleted. He has nothing left to give emotionally. And instead of saying, I'm struggling, he goes numb. He retreats to the TV, his phone, the garage, anywhere he can decompress without having to perform for anyone. I've seen couples where the husband was working 50-hour weeks, quietly drowning, and his wife interpreted his silence as indifference. But he wasn't indifferent. He was drowning, and he didn't have the words to say it. Your tip for today, try approaching him during a low-pressure moment, not right when he gets home, not during dinner. Wait until he's settled. Then ask, how are you really doing lately? Not the house stuff, not the kids, you. That question alone can crack the door open. Point 3, he's lost his identity inside the marriage. And this is where it gets really important, because this one is almost never talked about. When men lose their sense of individual identity inside a marriage, they disengage from the relationship itself. What does that mean? It means that over time, life became all logistics. Bills, kids, schedules, responsibilities. And somewhere in all of that, he stopped being a person with passions, friendships, and purpose, and just became a function. A paycheck, a handyman, a co-parent, but not a man who feels alive. When a person stops feeling like themselves, they stop showing up. Not because they hate you, but because they've lost the version of themselves that knew how to connect. I've worked with couples where the husband hadn't spent time with his friends in 3 years. He'd given up his hobbies without even realizing it. He felt invisible in his own life, and that emptiness became a wall between him and his wife. Your tip today, actively give him permission to be an individual again. Encourage one thing, one hobby, one night out with friends, 1 hour that's just his. When a man feels seen as a person, not just a partner, he starts re-engaging. Point 4, unresolved resentment has built a wall. He doesn't know how to tear down. Here's the part most couples get completely wrong. They think emotional distance means he's done with the marriage. But very often it means the opposite. He cares deeply, but he's buried under so much unspoken resentment that he doesn't know where to start. Men are not typically taught to process emotion out loud. So when something hurts them, feeling unappreciated, feeling controlled, feeling like they never measure up, they don't say it. They hold it, and it calcifies over time into walls they can't explain and you can't see. I've seen couples where a husband couldn't even articulate why he felt so disconnected. He just knew something was wrong, and under all that fog was years of feeling like his efforts went unnoticed. Your tip for today: try saying this to him. I know things haven't felt right between us, and I don't want to keep going like this. Can we talk about it? Not to fight, just to understand each other. That invitation, with zero blame attached, can be the first real bridge back to him. Let me tell you about a couple I'll call Rachel and David. They'd been married for 14 years. 2 kids, a house, good jobs on paper. But Rachel told me she felt like she was living with a roommate. David barely made eye contact. He'd come home, eat dinner, disappear into his office. She'd cried herself to sleep more nights than she could count. When they finally sat down and started talking, really talking, David said something that stopped Rachel cold. He said, "I didn't think you needed me anymore. I thought I was just in the way." He hadn't stopped loving her. He'd stopped believing he mattered to her. Once Rachel understood that, everything shifted. She started asking for his help, not because she needed it, but because it showed him he was wanted. She started acknowledging him. And slowly, not overnight, but slowly, David came back. He started initiating conversations. He started reaching for her hand again. That's what's possible when you understand what's really happening. It's not too late. But it starts with understanding and then taking the first step. So let's bring it home. If your husband has emotionally checked out, remember these 4 things. First, he may have stopped feeling safe being vulnerable, so create that safety. Second, he might be running on empty and doesn't know how to ask for help, so ask him how he's really doing. Third, he may have lost his individual identity, so give him permission to be a person again. And fourth, unspoken resentment may have built a wall, so extend the invitation to talk without blame. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 4 points resonated most with your situation? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you're also wondering whether the distance in your marriage is something you can actually come back from, or if it's already too late, I have a video on exactly that. Watch it next. If this video helped you, please subscribe to Stay or Leave. I post new videos every week because you deserve real answers, not just hope.